Hi guys, this is Mr. McFarland. I'm just showing you an example of how to do the assignment that I've asked you to do over Persepolis, and I'm going to use this illustrated version of Macbeth by William Shakespeare to talk about it. I've selected this page with an illustration of Lady Macbeth, who, if you don't know the story, she has committed murder with her husband. They've killed the king so that her husband can become king, but they both feel really guilty about it. And she cannot sleep, and she is walking in her sleep one night, and she thinks that there is blood all over her hands, and she is trying to wash the blood off, and the famous line is, "Out, damned spot," but she cannot remove the spot of blood. So I'm going to talk about this picture, and I'm going to compare it to a film version, actually a filmed version of a stage play directed by Teller and Posner from 2008, performed at the Folger Shakespeare Library. So in this picture, in this illustrated book, you do not actually see any blood because the blood is not real. She's only imagining it. But in Teller and Posner's version, they actually cover the actress in blood. She's wringing her hands and blood just pours all over her during this moment, and it makes it much more horrifying. And they have intentionally placed their production of the play squarely in the horror genre. It's very scary. Whereas this illustrated version, by not including the blood, by making sure that you know that it is only in her imagination, to me it feels like they're keeping the play more squarely in the psychological thriller genre, which Macbeth can certainly be both of those things, and they are leaning one way or another in these two versions of the story. So that brings up a question of, like, what's the better way? Is it better to see the blood? Is it better to not see the blood? Is it more scary to actually see the blood, or is it more scary to see someone so out of touch with reality who thinks that they have blood on them and in fact do not? And this idea of being out of touch with reality, I think, is an important one in the book. This also applies, or I'm sorry, in the play. This also applies to the character of the witches in the story. The witches sort of like tempt Macbeth to entertain the idea that he might be king, and then some of their predictions come true, and he decides to kill the king. So the question throughout the play is that, are the witches real? Is their magic real? Are they making things happen, or are they just suggesting things to Macbeth so that he makes them happen himself? And so if something is actually happening, or is it only happening in someone's mind, is a question that applies in multiple ways throughout the play. And it's interesting that Lady Macbeth is supposed to be sleepwalking at this moment, because sleep is also an important part of the play. Once they stop sleeping, they kind of lose their minds. And sleep is described as natural throughout the play. It's said that Macbeth lacks his natural sleep. So what if we don't sleep? Does that mean that we're not natural anymore? Are we out of touch with nature or out of touch with reality because our minds are fragile and they need sleep in order to keep their hold on nature and on reality? So sleepwalking, hallucination, those are unnatural acts in this play. And another unnatural act is, of course, murder itself. So I think that by not showing the blood, by showing how out of touch Lady Macbeth is with reality in this illustration, it drives home the idea of her being unnatural and out of touch with reality, and no longer fully functioning as a human being. Thanks, guys. Bye.